40 points to 25, folks. The French have taken down the ABs pretty comfortably. Yeah. We'll go through some events, some stats, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on how this one went. All Blacks pretty comfortably beaten. The French were very, very good. The All Blacks had some flashes of brilliance, but overall, for 2 weeks in a row, have looked like the second best team quite convincingly. So, yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. In the white jersey, I might add. Maybe that was like a prelude to the white flag we'd be waving. Sorry, I don't mean to be... I'm not overreacting. The French were really good, man. What can you say? The French were very, very, very good, and the All Blacks couldn't live with them for large periods. Dangerous start from the French. They kind of showed us danger very early on when Intermac had a nice break, and then that led to a penalty where they set a line out, and was it a penalty? Either way, they end up with a line out, and Malvaka mauls it over. And I was a bit annoyed with the commentators in New Zealand. I'm being annoyed at commentators a lot recently. The All Blacks losing probably adds to my frustration. But like the only thing they had to say about Malvaka in the build-up was he's from New Caledonia. Like, bro, he scored 2 tries last week as well. Maybe talk about that and how that's a threat. Oh, look, he did the same this week. So, yeah, Malvaka, good player. Steps up from the bench, fills the boots of Marchand, who's out injured, who's their regular first-choice hooker. And, yeah, France are 7-0 ahead. All Blacks do all right to kind of stop the bleeding early on because they've just been smacked in the nose to start with a couple of penalties. Like Villiers gets penalised at the breakdown, Jordy Barrett slots that one, and then France lose their line-out, which was a little bit of an issue this week. I mean, Malvaka's got his hand in that as well. But, yeah, they lose their line-out, at least another penalty. So it's 7-6. Only a 1-point game. Kind of quieten the crowd down a little bit because they've started with a flying start, you know. Settle things down a bit. 7-6 is fine, but then Intermac, man, that guy ran the ball, I think, more in this game against the All Blacks than he did against Argentina and Georgia when he played 12 the last couple of weeks. He looks better, at least from these 3 games as a small sample size, at 10 than he does at 12. But, yeah, big credit to Pinot, who kind of starts the go forward with a big old line break, and then Intermac ends up stepping Mwonga to go over for the try. So, yeah, really good finish from France, 14 points to 6. They do kind of let the All Blacks off a little bit. When I'm getting flashbacks from last week with the relentless French forwards just kind of going through phases. It was like last week against Ireland, where they go like 12 phases, maybe 13. And then Intermac he goes back in the pocket and tries a drop goal attempt, which is a pretty poor one. It's an easy kind of exit from, for the All Blacks guys. But when you've got your big midfielder, Dante, like giving Brodie Retallick like the big sit down, like you're doing good things. So keep doing that. So I felt like that was a bit of a kind of a poor decision, a kind of a let off. But obviously they wanted to come away with some points, but they didn't end up doing it. If it had been over, obviously you'd say it was a great decision. But yeah, I just felt it was a bit of a let off. The All Blacks, I thought, did make what I thought was a smart tactical decision early to kick some high balls to Villiers' wing because he's not that big a guy. He's kind of a pocket rocket, old Gabin Villiers. So they did struggle with a couple of those kicks out to his wing early, but the All Blacks didn't seem to persist with it. And anything they sent down Jamine's throat was just gobbled up. He's very secure at the back for the most part. So, yeah, the All Blacks kick it out on the full. Malvaka hits the cameraman with his ball when he's doing the line-out throw. That's something you don't see every day. I swear this Autumn Nations series I've seen some bizarre stuff that I've not really seen before. The hooker hitting the cameraman who's standing immediately behind him as he goes to throw on the ball is definitely something new. But yeah, 25 minutes, France kick a penalty to keep that scoreboard ticking over 17 points to 6. And that's after the All Blacks had managed a line-out steal. They immediately conceded a penalty. So it's like how to turn a successful moment into a failure. That was kind of it in a nutshell as well. France on 30 minutes did go close when the All Blacks knocked it on. But the mistakes were just a bit too high. The French, though, were playing with confidence, cross kicks, and yeah, their next chance led to another maul try through Malvaka. So the maul was getting some real pay. So 2 tries to Malvaka in the first half alone. 24-6, and it was good to see the French guys like not opting for 3. They were being ruthless. They had the All Blacks on the back foot and they could feel it. So yeah, get that try, 24 points to 6. The All Blacks tried to be ruthless there themselves on 38 minutes when they also had a chance to maybe kick in front, but they went for touch, and then their attempt didn't go so well because Coles carries and ends up knocking it on in the contact. So it's one of those ones where in hindsight you go, bro, you guys should have taken the 3, at least go in 24-9 instead of 24-6, but if they got a try, it would have looked like genius work. So they hadn't had a lot of chances in that first half of the All Blacks. Maybe it was one where you just keep the scoreboard ticking over, go into the sheds with the minimal damage possible, and then come out with a game plan in the second half. Because the game plan in the second half did seem to go all right for a while. I mean, there were still some soft ones, like the French maul defense held, and then the All Blacks needed some guys to carry it up. Tupaia was getting over the advantage line okay, but then he kind of propelled himself from the ground. Soft penalty conceded, bit of a let-off for France. You can't be doing that. But then France also missed touch when they've got a penalty of their own. It's like the All Blacks don't need that many chances, right? If you give them a little bit of space, they can often take a lot with it. So I was thinking, missed touch. Is this a momentum shifter for the All Blacks? And the All Blacks somehow fluke a 50-22. It looked on, they only replayed it once. It looked to be maybe out on the full, but maybe it wasn't. I'm assuming the officials looked at it and it wasn't, but if it was not out on the full, it was very, very close. But either way, the All Blacks fluke or precisely kick a 50-22, and that leads directly to Jordie Barrett going over for the All Blacks' first try of the game. Tupaia had gone close in the build-up as well, and then Smith with a little bullet pass out to the left, and Jordie beats Peno into the corner, so good try. Missed conversion, but 24-11, and then kind of bang, typical All Blacks double. Rico gets one on 50 minutes, and it's a bit of a weird one because 3 times in this game we saw guys attacking the halfback at the back of the ruck. Twice New Zealand did it and didn't get pinged, and once the French did it and got pinged. And the New Zealand commentary team was perplexed as to why there seemed to be a difference. I did overhear Wayne Barnes after the Rico try saying something like, I wrote that down, there's been a lift or something like that. And that was why. Oh, a bit of a lift. I'm assuming it means he was saying that they lifted the ball up, and that's why it's ball in hand rather than the ball still in, and you can't kind of attack the guy. So either way, I mean, good luck to New Zealand. They get 50-22, and then they get that turnover ball. Rico hits, shows some gas. So yeah, back to game on, man. 24 points to 18. A bit of handbags. The ref asks Akita and Aldrit to kind of settle down a bit, which I think they largely do, and France opt to stop the All Blacks momentum with a penalty, which is probably a smart choice. 27 points to 18, so it's beyond 7, so you would never not take that one, I think. But if the All Blacks concede 3, they answer back with a try. This time it's Adi Savia. It's their maul gets shut down pretty well, but Taukei'aho comes on, and he shows some proper power, able to get over the advantage line, even when he's seemingly caught kind of standing at a still or a slow pace. He's still able to, those kind of post-contact meters, he's able to really push forward to get the All Blacks going forward. And then Savia next phase gets a try. So it's a 2-point ball game, 27-25. That's the last of the scoring for the All Blacks, and that's 58 minutes. And the All Blacks are kind of, they always, the last 20 minutes, the All Blacks always kind of, come back with, nope, not this time. France, maybe it's the moment of the game, man, where they throw a long line-out move to Dante, and he knocks it on. And Jordie Barrett kicks it well long to the French guys who are having to scramble because they're changing from attack to defence. And the All Blacks guys are chasing to put them under pressure, and it just seems like the All Blacks momentum is going to continue. But that man, Intermark, gets the ball in his own goal area, manages to get out of a tackle from Moonga, manages to beat Jordie Barrett, and just runs it up the field. They get a big old counter-attacking chance. I think it's Woki who's running. He's got men outside him. He doesn't pass, which is potentially a mistake in terms of setting up a try on the counter. But what does happen is when they get tackled, Savia goes in, cynically slows it down, and he gets yellow carded. So France go from seemingly being in despair, having just conceded 2 quick tries, I mean, they did kick a penalty kind of in between, but they turn all that momentum back on its head, and suddenly the All Blacks are under pressure. They do opt for 3, but they maybe could have had 5, but they do get the yellow card, which is potentially even more important. And it gets worse for New Zealand. I feel like France must have watched the games when New Zealand played Australia, or New Zealand takes the role of Australia here, because New Zealand intercept. Pinot, like New Zealand are really good off turnover ball. If you watch rugby and if you've seen New Zealand, you probably know this. It's very common for the All Blacks to score tries off turnover ball. The All Blacks do get turnover ball. I think it's Sam Cane turns over ball inside the All Blacks own half, and it's like now it's on. It's on. The All Blacks backs can sense it. It's on. Let's get it wide. It's that same transition from attack to defense for the opposition that's going to make them struggle. But Havili's pass is a bit of a stinker, and Pinot reads it like an absolute book. Pinot goes over for a try. So it's 37-25. That's 10 points they've scored during the yellow card. And it's at that point I'm starting to think this is probably going to be a bridge too far for the All Blacks. The French have got this. The fact that the All Blacks were actually able to get it back to to a 2-point ball game at one point, I was kind of surprised because in the first half they hadn't been in it a heck of a lot. They continued with a few too many aimless kicks. The All Blacks, Morgan and Jordie Barrett, were both guilty of that. At least when they were kicking to Villiers, I could see kind of the choices behind it, but seemingly aimless for mine. The yellow card does finish, but then, man, the French forwards just get stronger, and the All Blacks guys seem to wither a bit. It's that physical. The All Blacks struggled physically against Ireland, and now seemingly again. Like there's a 5-metre scrum on the All Blacks' own line, on an All Blacks feed, and then they just get monstered. Savia just manages to scramble out of the back. Weber gets carried over the line, so it's a 5-metre scrum to France. I mean, the All Blacks' defence holds like last week, and then they get a turnover, they kick it, doesn't go out, so the French just run it straight back at them. Very reminiscent of last week. So the French guys, as I said, ruthless, not letting up at all. If anything, getting stronger into the match. And then there's a breakdown penalty as the All Blacks are trying to counter on 77 minutes, where France, I wrote that they've got New Zealand dead and buried at this point. They do kick one more penalty at the end to bring up 40 points. 40 points to 25. First win over New Zealand in quite some time. And what a way to get it done. Emphatic. I mean, it's only 15 points, but that's a really solid victory. Stats, run meters 438 to 566. That's with New Zealand having more, but Rico's got like 100 to 60 of those. So barring that freak performance, it probably evens out a fair bit more. Defenders beaten is 24-23, so pretty close. The French have got one more, but clean breaks 8 to 3. Not many teams kind of out clean break the All Blacks. That's the All Blacks thing on the counter. Apparently not. Offloads 11 to 4 though. The All Blacks did offload a wee bit more. But the French, 8 turnovers, 1 to 3. So turnover ball, generating clean breaks, like the confidence to run it from your own in-goal area. That's what this French team is about. Their lineout did struggle, 10 from 14. The All Blacks were 11 from 11. So that's one area that is a bit of a downer for the French on an otherwise kind of very positive performance. Handling errors, 10 to 5, with the All Blacks having 10. Kind of no surprises there. Intermac, man, 94 run meters, 4 defenders beaten, 4 clean breaks. Remember, New Zealand had 3 clean breaks. So Intermac himself has 4. Jaminet has 86 run meters, 3 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks. He was really comfortable at the back. Rico, like I mentioned, 160 run meters, beats 2 defenders. Sam Cane, top All Blacks tackler, 14 from 16. Aldrich, 12 from 12 for the French. But, 2 weeks in a row, the All Blacks have gone down. So there'll be a lot of talk about that here in NZ, I'm sure. I'm about to go call my old man to see what he's got to say. I'm sure he will not be a happy chappy, as will much of New Zealand right now. But you do need to give credit to the French because they absolutely played a hell of a game. Very, very good team. Still a pretty young team. And going from strength to strength seemingly. If they can just get a Six Nations before the next World Cup, I think that'll give them a mental edge just going into things, because there's nothing quite like getting that pressure of kind of having the trophy done, which they haven't quite done yet under Gaultier, but maybe that's the next best thing. So, yeah. You guys let me know your thoughts on the game. Where did you think it went right? Where did it go wrong? And yes, I'm going to go watch Scotland and Japan as well, which I have not seen yet. So maybe that'll cheer me up a little bit. I'll go grab a beer or something. But anyway, Intimac was good. I'm going to go. Take care, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.